Once upon a time, there lived a man named Akachi. Akachi had taken two wives, as was the custom in those days. His first wife, Adana, had given him 4 beautiful daughters. His second wife, Amira, had borne him 3 strong sons and 1 daughter. At first, the 2 wives got along well, sharing in the daily chores and raising their children together under one roof. However, as the years passed, jealousy began to fester in Adana's heart. She could not understand why Akachi had taken a second wife when she had already given him 4 children. Consumed by envy and resentment, Adana sought the aid of a notorious witch doctor living deep in the forbidden forests. With a pouch of crushed bones and feathers, the witch doctor performed an ancient ritual, whispering incantations over a simmering pot of foul-smelling liquid. "This charm will turn your husband's heart against his second wife," the witch doctor cackled. "But be warned, the magic comes with a heavy price." Adana agreed without hesitation, blinded by her burning hatred for Amira. After paying the witch doctor's exorbitant fee of 2 goats and a bag of cowrie shells, she hurried back to the village, clutching the charm tightly. That very night, as Akachi slept, Adana crept to his side and sprinkled the crushed bones and feathers over his body, chanting the ill wishes under her breath. By morning, a cold change had come over Akachi. He viewed Amira and her children with distrust and disdain. Within a few weeks, Akachi could no longer stand the sight of his second family. In a fit of rage, he gathered Amira's few belongings and thrust them into her arms. "Take your children and leave my home at once," he shouted. His eyes glazed over as if possessed by an evil spirit. Amira pleaded for him to reconsider, but her words fell on deaf ears. With tears streaming down her face, she ushered her 3 sons and daughter out of the village, not knowing where they would go or how they would survive. As the years rolled by, Adana rejoiced in her twisted victory, having gotten rid of her rival. However, her 4 daughters could not help but notice something amiss. Their father's once warm demeanor had turned cold and distant. Whenever the children asked about their mother, Amira, Akachi would fly into a rage, beating them with a thick branch until they learned to remain silent. The mistreatment became too much for the eldest 2 sons, Talib and Salim. When they reached adolescence, the brothers decided their only chance at a better life was to run away. One night, they gathered what little money they had and quietly slipped out of the village, heading towards the bustling city of Lagos. In Lagos, Talib and Salim worked tirelessly as shoeshine boys and street vendors, haunted by memories of their long-lost mother and the abuse they had endured. The hardships they faced on the streets toughened them into resilient young men. They vowed that one day they would unravel the truth and reunite their family once more. Back in the village, the 2 remaining sons, Amari and Sion, along with their sister Sephora, also grew increasingly suspicious of their father's erratic behavior. Adana's 4 daughters had long realized that something sinister was afoot, but they dared not confront their ruthless mother. It was Adana's eldest daughter, wise beyond her years, who finally discovered her mother's dark secret. One afternoon, as she was sweeping the ceiling to chase out pesky cobwebs, she noticed a strange object wrapped in a waterproof material, hastily hidden away. Using her broom, she carefully retrieved the parcel and untied the dry, scaly fabric. There, nestled inside, was a cloth sack filled with crushed bones, feathers, and other peculiar items. Obviously, ingredients for a powerful charm or spell. The daughter's heart raced with shock and realization. She immediately gathered her sisters and Amari, Sion, and Sephora, and they made a pact to confront their parents about the secrets they had been hiding for so many years. That night, after Adana and Akachi had fallen into a drunken slumber, the children lit a fire in the courtyard and tossed the bizarre charm into the crackling flames. As the foul objects smoldered, emitting thick plumes of acrid smoke, a tremendous blast echoed through the village, shattering the trance that had enveloped Akachi's mind. Akachi awoke with a start, his memories finally returning. He remembered his beautiful second wife Amira, and the day his cruel first wife had turned him against her through devilish means. Stumbling outside, he embraced his sons and daughter, weeping at the years of torment they had endured. Overcome with rage towards Adana, Akachi gathered his belongings and vowed to go in search of Amira, even if it took him the rest of his life to find her and beg for her forgiveness. Adana, having been abandoned by her own daughters, was left alone to face the consequences of her misdeeds. The path to reuniting the family was long and arduous, but Akachi was determined. He began by heading to the great city of Lagos, knowing that was where his eldest sons had fled years before. Through sheer perseverance, hanging about in the bustling markets and soldiers' camps where the poor gathered, Akachi finally caught wind of two young men named Talib and Salim, shoe shiners and peddlers, known for their unshakable bond as brothers. When they finally came face to face, tears of joy streamed down their faces as they embraced their long-lost father. Though many years and many trials had passed, the small family persisted in their quest to find Amira. They stopped in every village from the coast to the inland river kingdoms, showing her portrait to anyone who would look. Finally, after several moons, a traveling trader recognized Amira's face from when she had passed through his caravan years ago. The reunion that followed remains a beloved tale to this day, told around evening fires across West Africa. It serves as a reminder that the bonds of family can withstand even the darkest of evils, and that the light of love and perseverance will ultimately conquer hatred and jealousy,